When a beloved brother, Christian brother, in the fight, when they've been murdered in broad daylight for the world to see, what follows is questions. Who done it? Why? And how? So we're looking at the Charlie Kirk assassination. We are seeking truth. We are seeking truth. We are seeking answers. And we are seeking the reasons behind it all. What those reasons could be: power, money, secrets, lies, all put together. And we have one investigator, Candace Owens, who is at the forefront asking the questions. But what they fail to realize is that she is not alone. She has millions of us normal people behind her. She is the face of this movement, but she is certainly not alone. And we're going to talk about it all today here on The Conservative Poet. Welcome back to The Conservative Poet with me, Amania. Charlie Kirk was murdered, assassinated outside in broad daylight on September 10th, 2025 at Utah Valley University. The murder prompted an investigation which is really globally. And this investigation globally is not by the FBI. Nope, it is by an independent journalist, podcaster, YouTuber, Candace Owens. She is asking the questions that all of us have. And another thing, she is really truly not alone, because in order for her to continue to give more information, the whole world seems to have come behind her, sending her tips. Those who are experts in certain things are sending her information. For example, the bullet that took Charlie Kirk out in his neck. People who know rifles wrote to her and said, look, this can't happen this way. There are even people out here doing exercises to show that this is not how it happened. Not with that kind of a bullet that they're talking about. The world has come to aid Candace in the search for the killer of Charlie Kirk. Now, the FBI say they have somebody, Tyler Robinson, young kid. Something just isn't smelling right in this whole thing. This operation seems more than just a lonely little kid who decided to go up on a rooftop and shoot somebody. Now, we're not saying he wasn't involved in some way, but this is a sophisticated operation that required sophisticated planning. Too many coincidences in that day, too many things, and Candace Owens breaks it all down little by little by little. And this is what investigative journalism looks like. Because once upon a time, when you investigated, you would turn every rock. You would turn up every rock. And wherever it led you, you went and you investigated. And if it's a dead end, then it's a dead end. But everything is relative. Everything has its place as you map this thing out. It's an investigation. So her investigation has led her to many holes. One of them including global, Egypt, France, the land where Jesus was born. I want to say it like that. The land where Jesus was born. Because people get triggered when you mention the land where Jesus was born. So we will call it that. Yes, this thing is global. But our FBI isn't the one giving us this information. No, Candace Owens is. And rightfully so, she is piecing together information that she is receiving. Tips. She receives so many tips. And her team are tracking it and investigating. And so it just goes to show you, all you need is a little bit of courage. And Candace Owens has the courage. And I believe that she was created, made for this time. This is a defining moment in our history. Because you see, we have experienced assassinations before. Charlie Kirk is not the first. There's been many. The difference is, in this moment, is that Charlie Kirk's murder happened in broad daylight for all to see. JFK's happened in broad daylight too. The difference is we have what's known as the internet, and we have what's known as these here cell phones. They capture everything, everywhere. And every human being walking this planet has this. Well, the majority of us have this. Right? We all have this here phone in our hands. It is this mini computer that tracks, that takes pictures, that does so many things. It's a mini computer. So when Candace Owens tells us there were people on the ground that day from the country in which Jesus was born, a whole lot of people from that country had cell phones connected to that country. Shouldn't we have questions about that? That's a rock that needs to be prodded, that needs to be looked at. That's a coincidence. We're looking at everything. Not everything is a coincidence. We're looking at everything, and we're going to look at it. We're going to decipher it. And then if it doesn't pan out to anything, we know we're going to sit it to the side in that pile of evidence, right? And as we work our way to the next pile, and then the next pile brings you to, in reference to the place where Jesus was born, the president or the prime minister of the place where Jesus was born. They came out here right after Charlie was assassinated to say, hey, Charlie was a friend to us. Hey, we've been singing Kumbaya, Charlie and I. Charlie was a friend to us. He loved our way. He celebrated our way. Really? Because receipts came out that, he wasn't feeling that. Actually, it was Charlie Kirk in his own words that stated that he was no longer feeling the place where Jesus was born like that anymore because of scenarios of what's happening in nearby areas, what's happening in the Gaza Strip, what's happening to all of those babies and people and children and women unalived, right? He had questions. And you do not question the place where Jesus was born. You don't question that. You don't question it. So what does that, what does all this mean? It means that Candace Owens is getting help globally. And people who are in different parts of the world is sending her tips and information. And here's another one. She received information that there is a hit out on her life. And they sent her information from the inside of the Friends organization. She received a tip. But it seems that nobody investigates until you're dead. And in like Charlie Kirk's case, you could be dead and still there is no investigation unless you have a friend like Candace Owens to ask questions on your behalf. Now, I've made content in reference to Charlie Kirk and his show. Charlie Kirk, I saw a short clip of him recently stating that during the COVID, we can't believe everything they tell us. We have to have questions in order for us to be free. He had questions about the JFK assassination. He had questions. Why did this happen like this on that day? Coincidences happening like this on that day? A lone shooter happening like that when it just wasn't so? He had questions. And so I find it ironic that the ones who has succeeded his show, the one who's continuing the work and the legacy of Charlie Kirk, don't seem to have any questions. They ain't got no smoke for nobody. They ain't asking no questions. Nobody's got nothing. Oh, we're trusting the FBI. We're trusting them. Charlie Kirk didn't trust them. And so, but you're going to trust them to investigate his murder like they investigated the JFK murder? When Charlie Kirk himself renounced that, he didn't believe in that. He didn't trust what they told him, what the government told him. But you're going to trust. So isn't that like a disrespectful thing to Charlie Kirk? I'm just saying. The people who's sitting in his chair. Isn't that a disrespect to Charlie Kirk? Friends, I'm hot under these lights, friends, hot. Isn't that a disrespect to Charlie Kirk? Because he was all about probing the narrative. He was all about finding out the layers. He was all about not trusting what they told us. He didn't trust about the COVID. He didn't trust about the election of 2020. He didn't, oh God, this thing, oh, I'm so hot. He had questions. And so he would have questions in reference to you all, his team, not asking any questions. Like, tell me in the comments, does anybody know what kind of talks have Turning Point USA or the Charlie Kirk show has done in reference to Charlie's his murder investigation? As much money as the Turning Point USA have, and they raised a lot of money recently. These last 3 months, they sold a lot of shirts. They sold a lot. They got a lot of money because people love Charlie Kirk and they want the work to continue. Right? They've raised a lot of money. So they have enough money to put out investigations, to start their own investigation, because Charlie Kirk did not trust the government. Why aren't you pulling in your own security people, hiring the best detectives and so on and so forth, forensics, and really doing your own investigation? Because Charlie Kirk didn't trust the government to solve any of these things. That's why he had questions. But the people in his chair now, I guess they're going to leave it all to the government. But guess what? We, the public, we, the people, are not going to leave it to the government. Candace Owens is the face of the movement, but she's got millions behind her. sending her tips, sending her information, being her eyes and feet on the ground. She is not doing this thing alone. She's got we the public. She's got we the public. And she's going to do this work. And you know what else, friends? I also think she's got God. And I also think she's got Charlie. I also think that. Because guess what? He is watching all of this play out. He's watching. He knows who's who and what's what. Spiritual realm. We're talking spiritual realm here. He knows who's who and what's what. He knows who the killers are. He knows who the traitors are. He knows. And so whatever shenanigans is happening here on the earth, and we're running around like chickens trying to figure it out, Charlie Kirk already knows. He knows who betrayed him, friends. And we can do propaganda here all day. The left can do propaganda all day. The conservative commentators can do propaganda all day. The Christian commentators can do propaganda all day. But we, the people who have discernment and who has divine perspective and who just has common sense, we know. Just like during the COVID, we knew something was up. Just like 2020 elections, we knew something was up. Just like BLM, Black Lives Matter, we knew something was up. And Candace Owens has always been at the top of it. Out here, Lone Ranger, dropping troop bombs. But this one is different because the whole world is invested in this, because every one of us watched Charlie Kirk get a bullet in the neck. And we can't forget that. We're not going to forget that. There's a difference between Charlie Kirk, the man, the human, the person, and Turning Point USA, the organization. We care about Charlie Kirk, the human. We care about Charlie Kirk, the human, not Turning Point USA, the organization. That Charlie Kirk himself, before he died just a few days earlier, was putting a Doge in to find out where the money was coming from and where the money was going. Charlie Kirk himself was putting a Doge together. He put a Doge together, but now I don't believe it's an active form because he's dead now. So who cares who's bringing in the money and who cares where the money is going? They silenced him. Not saying that Turning Point USA had anything to do with the assassination or the unaliving of Charlie Kirk, the CEO and the founder, grassroots founder of the organization. Not saying that at all. We're just saying, we just saying that Doge has gone away, and we know how effective Doge is because the government done used it. President Trump done used it. Elon Musk done did it. And then there's other places around the country that's putting in their own Doge. So we know that Doge worked, and Charlie was putting in his own Doge. He put his own Doge in, but now it's Ghostbusters. Yeah. Nobody cares where the money's coming from. Nobody cares where the money's going. Charlie Kirk did. Just days before his unleashed demise assassination. And would you believe, friends? Tips and tips and tips are coming in. There are people within the Turning Point USA organization that don't like what happened to their boss, Charlie. And so guess what? A lot of the tips that Candace Owens gets comes from within the Turning Point USA organization. Yes. A lot of them are coming from there. A lot of them are coming from people who knew Charlie. So, Candace Owens is not alone in this. She's the face. And this reminds me of how President Trump likes to say it. He was like, they're not trying to get, I'm standing in the way. Candace is standing in the way. She's standing in the way. She is standing in the middle for truth. And so she is going to take the bullets. She's going to take the harassment. She's going to take the name calling. She's going to take them clipping her videos so they can go and make money. But they accuse her for doing an investigation and telling the truth. Oh, she's getting paid. She's getting all this money. What about the people who clip her content to make money? Nobody has problems with that. She's giving original content. Original. This is an original investigation. We've never seen anything like this. JFK couldn't have this kind of investigation because he did not, the people who were looking into his murder, I don't know if there were, but they didn't have the World Wide Web like we do now. This is the first thing we're seeing, this thing in global time. This is history making. This is history making. In real time, we are being a part of this investigation. All of us have something to contribute to this. All of us can contribute something to the investigation that Candace Owens is doing. Whether it's making content like this, putting our two cents into the conversation and pushing it out there. More voices, more voices, more voices. Because we cannot be silent. We cannot be quiet. Charlie Kirk meant a lot to the world. And he deserves to rest in peace. And shame on those close to him. Who's supposed to know him better than anybody? But they're not out here. If you're going to take the seat, if you're going to become the person in charge, then you should be embodying what Charlie Kirk did. But that you're not doing that. The people in his chair aren't doing that. They're just sitting by complicit. Nothing to see here, they say. Nothing to see. Our family is good here. We got a good family here. We're doing our work. We're building. We're building. Yeah, you're building a whole lot of cash. A boatload of cash is what you're building. Blood money. Dirty money. I think Charlie Kirk had something against dirty money and blood money. Doge. And we're going to end it there, friend. Thank you so much for taking the time and joining me, Amania Saluste, on The Conservative Poet today. God bless you and keep you. And don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe. Again, Candace, you are not alone, girlfriend. You got a trail of army behind you. Everybody wants to know what happened to Charlie Kirk. Thank you, Candace, for taking the arrows, as Trump would say. I'm taking the arrows. Candace is taking the arrows. Thank you, Candace, for taking the arrows. God bless you. And we will be praying for you and fasting for you, because I hear they're going to be praying and fasting for Turning Point USA on the 15th. But girl, I'm telling you right here, I will be praying and fasting that God bless you and that God keep you and that God protect you and the angels cover you. Millions and millions of angels come down from this earth and cover Candace Owens so she can continue to drop the truth bomb, so she can continue to bring the receipts, so she can continue to do the work. I'll see y'all again. God bless you and keep you.